Hello, this is Emmy from Alpha Academy. For the past 18 years at Alpha Academy, we have been supporting MBA students and new graduates who are entering the world of finance, such as investment banking and hedge funds. However, even if you attend a top MBA program, the reality is that 90% of people still fail investment banking interviews. Today, I want to talk about why some people succeed and others do not in IB interviews and internships. I'll be discussing this from the perspectives of fit and technical aspects. So today, we have Alpha's representative, TJ. We'll be getting advice from TJ, who attended Chicago Business School and worked at Goldman Sachs in investment banking. Let's get started. At Alpha Academy, for the past 18 years, we've been supporting working professionals and advancing their careers, as well as helping university students with their job searches, whether it's investment banking, hedge funds, Wall Street, or global environments in Asia, America, Europe, and various other countries. We've supported careers in finance. If you want to discuss your own career individually or prepare for interviews, please reach out. If you want to prepare for internships, please feel free to contact Alpha Academy's free consultation chat. Yes, at Alpha Academy. We support not only job hunting and career changes, but also studying abroad at business schools and graduate schools. If necessary, you can study abroad, and then after that, for those looking to advance their careers, or for those who are already attending business school or have specialized expertise, we have guided many people directly into top companies, such as investment banks, hedge funds, asset management firms, which have become popular recently, as well as strategy consulting firms and many other leading organizations. And Alpha has an 18-year track record to back this up. Yes, and it's not just about going to business school and being done with it. These days, even if you go to business school, you might not be able to find a job. For example, even at Harvard, a quarter of the students haven't secured jobs. In this current situation, the business schools you should consider attending are also changing. We help you carefully choose the right school from the very beginning, and that includes whether you want to go into investment banking, hedge funds, or something else. Whether you want to go into consulting firms, GAFA, or other fields, Alpha also has recommended schools tailored to each path. So for those planning to attend business school or graduate school, we encourage you to consult with us starting from the school selection process. Also, our representative, TJ, attended Chicago Business School, and during his MBA, he received offers from all the major investment banks. Because of that, I believe having an advisor who truly understands top-tier careers supporting you is a unique advantage that only we can offer. So I really hope each of you will consult with us individually and seize your own success. So today, TJ and I, Emmy, will be talking with you. TJ attended Chicago Business School, Chicago Booth, and after working at Goldman Sachs, he has spent the past 18 years supporting everyone here at Alpha Academy. Recently, the financial industry has been very active. There are also many regions where hiring is taking place vigorously. On the other hand, it's quite difficult to get hired at places like GAFA or top strategy consulting firms, so many people are choosing to pursue a career in finance after business school. We also support many people who move into finance from graduate programs in computer science or data science. When it comes to companies like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, or McKinsey, it's a world where only about 1% of applicants actually get an offer. However, at Alpha Academy, many people have successfully secured offers from these firms. Yes, as for me, I started my career in healthcare, then went on to Columbia University's Graduate School of Education. Now I'm here at Alpha supporting everyone. For individual consultations, please search for Alpha Academy on Google and send your situation and consultation details to us via chat. I will communicate with you directly. And since Alpha Academy offers programs specifically tailored for career changes, investment banking interview preparation, and support for those applying to business schools, I will propose the most suitable support for you. I look forward to speaking with all of you. So today I will be introducing the consultations we've received from everyone. But first, I'd like to share some news with you all. Well, there are reports every day about how active the financial industry is. And then there's this as well. Gold, well, no profit, B ton record stock trading, C Luz M&A activity. So from here on out, especially in Asia, including Japan, MBOs are currently very active, and each investment bank is particularly strengthening recruitment in their investment banking divisions. This includes Goldman, as well as JP Morgan, Citibank, and others. Right now, various investment banks are actively increasing their staff. And then, well, Citibank as well. With B2 estimates and making a rebound, there are a lot of deals available right now. While Citibank has made some staff cuts in certain departments, they are actively hiring in their investment banking division. In fact, many people from Alpha Academy received job offers or internships there last year. Another industry worth noting is hedge funds. In typical business school career paths, most people tend to go into investment banking or commercial banking, but recently, more people are interested in hedge funds and asset management. With various stocks rising and even gold and other commodities going up, there are many who are now turning their attention to hedge funds. Salaries are overwhelmingly higher compared to investment banks. There are also many firms in the space. Some people have joined major funds like Bridgewater, Point72, Citadel, and Millennium. This is about hedge funds like Haldea, Avesta, Yerman, and Stone 2029, and the industry is really booming. I think the stock market will remain strong for a while, so I believe now is a very good time for everyone to get involved. At Alpha Academy, there are many people who have joined hedge funds with no prior experience, even if they are currently in graduate school for business, data science, or financial engineering. So if you have no experience but want to work in hedge funds or asset management, we would definitely encourage you to join us. Now, from here on, I'd like to answer your questions together with TJ.
Yes. Hello, everyone. This is TJ. Right now, especially for MBAs or master's programs, also for fields like finance, financial engineering, data science, and computer science. Graduate students in these areas are already starting to work towards securing summer internships this year, so it's quite active. We've been receiving quite a few consultations about this. Among them, the most popular is definitely the finance industry, especially investment banks. Yes, asset management, hedge funds, and private equity funds are also extremely popular. For the past 18 years, we've been working globally in this field. Yes, we have successfully supported many ambitious people in getting into prestigious investment banks, global asset management firms, high stakes hedge funds, and competitive private equity funds. We have consistently helped them succeed in their complex job searches, as well as their significant career changes and professional transitions. After all, since everyone is going to the trouble of attending an MBA program, you want things to go well. Many of you want to get into investment banks, asset management, hedge funds, or private equity funds. The competition is definitely intense, but if you come to Alpha Academy, we can help you figure out what kind of story to use to approach these opportunities, and also, overwhelmingly, we can also help you create cover letters and resumes that will really impress people. And of course, there's interview preparation as well. These days, the interviews are quite technical. There are also a lot of technical questions being asked. We can help you prepare for all of those aspects. Just being enrolled in an MBA or a global master's program overseas isn't enough, is it? Naturally, I think it's almost impossible to get an offer by passing interviews at extremely competitive places like investment banks. That's why everyone seeks out professional support, like what Alpha Academy offers, and actually prepares thoroughly and perfectly. Take on the challenge, and as a result, they are successfully securing summer internship offers. If you're aiming to secure a summer internship offer this year, I highly recommend reaching out to Alpha Academy as soon as possible. We provide comprehensive, full package support. Of course, there are already people who have prepared their resumes and cover letters. I'm sure many of you have done so. But even if you've created them yourself or had AI check them, chances are they still lack real impact. Well, since I myself worked at Goldman Sachs, I know the level of quality expected in resumes from people at the Goldman class. So even if you've had your resume reviewed at school or just used the school's format, honestly, this applies to both graduate and undergraduate students. The quality of resumes is shockingly low. The same goes for cover letters as well. And of course, at Alpha Academy, we thoroughly prepare you for interview content too. It's extremely important to raise your level in these areas. If you're determined to land a summer internship this year at an investment bank, asset management firm, or hedge fund, and want to secure a full time return offer from there, please don't hesitate to reach out to Alpha Academy as soon as possible. All right, let's move on to the consultation segment. This consultation comes from a student who is already attending Columbia Business School for their MBA. They want to secure a summer internship at a top tier investment bank, such as Goldman Sachs, and are seeking advice on how to achieve that.
However, their preparation has been delayed, and they don't have a finance background to begin with. Many of their classmates come from investment banking or have a background in finance. They haven't been able to do much networking, and they're also worried about their technical preparation. As you know, New York is extremely competitive. While there are many opportunities to get finance jobs there, probably the most in the world, I think it's still quite tough. So the question is, what kind of preparation should be done to get into investment banking? They also want to know what kind of support Alpha can provide and whether they can get help with resume reviews or practice for technical interviews. And one more thing. This person is working at one of the big four firms in Hong Kong. At Alpha, we support many people from Asia, including those working in places like Hong Kong, Singapore, and Japan, who go on to attend business schools in the US and then enter investment banks or hedge funds in America. We've helped many people achieve this path. Originally, they were working in auditing, and from there, well, they wanted to change their career to a front office role at an investment bank. So, next, the question is, what steps should you take to get into investment banking? Since you only have an auditing background, you want to discuss whether you should go to business school to make a career transition. There is also the matter of age. This person is 29, about to turn 30, so they're worried that it might be difficult to enter investment banking with no experience at that age. They want realistic, practical advice. That's what they're looking for.
Yes, thank you very much. That's right. Right now, we have a lot of people who are currently attending MBA programs, as well as many who want to go to an MBA in the future. There are a lot of people like that coming to us. And of course, we not only support people aiming for top positions, yes, not just support for joining investment banks and similar companies. We also provide support for getting into top global business schools, as well as graduate programs in financial engineering, data science, and computer science. We also offer career strategy consultations. So if you'd like to discuss your future career plans, please feel free to reach out. As you all know, investment banks, asset management firms, hedge funds, and PE funds generally look for candidates from global business schools or graduate programs in financial engineering. So if you're aiming to become a trader, a quant analyst, or a quant researcher, for example, especially if you want to work as a trader at a hedge fund or as a trader on the sell side, these days a lot of people are coming from graduate programs in financial engineering or data science. And particularly now, for example, if you're working in accounting at one of the big four firms, as soon as possible. I recommend that you go to a top global MBA program or a graduate school specializing in finance. Otherwise, it's quite difficult to get into a top tier financial firm. In other words, there are a lot of people like that coming in. So you end up competing with those people. And when I look at various job postings, most of the finance related job openings, the qualifications required, having a master's degree from a top global program is basically a must have requirement. First of all, things like an MBA or a global master's degree from a global school, obtaining one of those is really the first step. So I highly recommend that you consult with Alpha about your strategy for that first step. That's the first point. And for your initial consultation, if you are currently in an MBA program, to those people, what I want to say is, well, we've worked with a lot of people. We've been doing this for 18 years now. And after consulting with and supporting so many individuals, what I think is, yeah, well, in the end, the quality of their output is low across the board. And when I say output, I mean, of course, their resume and then their cover letter. And also in interviews. Recently, there are even AI interviews like HireVue. And then in interviews, naturally, in order to get to the interview, you need networking. In other words, who is going to vouch for you? This networking part is extremely important, right? Therefore, most of the people who don't get accepted, the ones who keep getting rejected, it's ultimately because of the quality. The quality of their output is low. That's the main reason. And no matter which business school or master's program you go to, everyone is highly capable. For example, when it comes to technical questions like TCF, valuation, work, or LBO models, or for instance, what recent M&A deal caught your attention, and so on. Like, for example, if you had $1 billion, what kind of portfolio would you build? There are all sorts of technical questions like that. But of course, if you prepare properly with Alpha Academy, you can handle those. And since all of you have passed the Master Top class, you already have more than enough. Well, being smart is definitely a given, right? But in the world of finance, being smart is, it's kind of like a prerequisite. It's just an obvious assumption. There really isn't much of a difference there. For example, whether someone is from Harvard, Columbia, or UC Berkeley, it's not like there's a huge difference in intelligence. It doesn't really change that much. But what's important in finance, what's really crucial is first and foremost commitment. Commitment. So, for example, you want to do M&A in IBD, investment banking. Or say you want to work in asset management or at a hedge fund, or maybe you want to work at a PE fund. I think there are people who have those aspirations. So, why is that? For example, why do you want to commit to IBD? Where does that determination, that resolve come from? But the explanation for that is often really weak. Well, everyone has really strong aspirations, right? Like, I want to join Goldman Sachs, or I want to get into Morgan Stanley, or I want to work at BlackRock. Everyone says that. But within that, what is it that you actually want to do? Why is that? That's the part you really need to consider. When you actually ask people about it, all you get are vague answers. And where does that show up? Of course, it comes out in your cover letter, and naturally, you'll get asked about it in AI interviews, like HireVue, too. In interviews, you'll be asked things like why investment banking or why capital markets, those kinds of questions. And most people can't answer them clearly. They can't respond in a way that convinces the interviewer. And then, in more practical terms, there's the resume. There's also the quality of things like your cover letter. From my experience at places like Goldman Sachs, when I look at the resumes of those who get offers, they're always written very thoroughly. The content is solid and it's crafted in a way that makes you think, I want to hire this person. On the other hand, those who don't make it just write down the facts and that's it. When they use AI, it just turns into a parade of look how amazing I am, I'm so great, and so on. There's absolutely no sense of empathy that makes you want to work with them. It's like they're just stuck in sales mode and that's it. So, as you might expect, with that kind of attitude, no one is going to think, I want to invite this person for an interview, or I want to work with this person, or I want to hire this person. So, what's really important above all is quality and empathy. As I mentioned earlier, you can thoroughly improve that quality at Alpha Academy. So please show us the resumes and cover letters you're working on right now. If you have them on Google Drive or something, just say, this is what I've made so far. Could you take a look? That's how most people approach us. So feel free to show us. We can clearly tell you exactly what isn't working. And then it's about your story. Why do you want to work in investment banking? Why asset management? And as for the region, right now, Asia and Japan are incredibly asset management, hedge funds in the M&A industry. These are hot areas right now, aren't there? For example, if you say you want to work in the Asian market, the Japan market, or in Japanese equities, the question is why? Often the only reason people give is simply because those areas are hot right now. And for instance, if you want to do investment banking in New York, which department do you want to work in? Honestly, I think for many people, the answer is anywhere is fine as long as I can get in. However, from the perspective of the hiring side, they want something clear. They're looking for a specific reason and rationale. Why capital markets? For example, fixed income and equities. And then, for instance, you might say you want to become a trader or an analyst. There are all sorts of departments. These days, there's algorithmic trading, engineering, IT departments, operations. There are so many options. Any of them is fine. Any is fine, but what matters is your commitment and the story behind where that commitment comes from. That's really important after all. It needs to be convincing and relatable. Having those qualities is extremely important. So, putting all of this together properly is incredibly difficult. From what I've seen in consultations with people who say they were mostly rejected, the main issues are low quality and a lack of relatability in their stories. It really comes down to these 2 points. So I strongly recommend coming to Alpha Academy early so you can develop your strategy, your output, and craft stories with a high level of relatability. Also, yeah, another thing that a lot of people don't really do is networking, especially for international students, those who go to the US, Europe, or Asia. It might be difficult to build a network. It's extremely important. It's really crucial. And nowadays we have things like LinkedIn, so make good use of LinkedIn and similar platforms. Also, take advantage of your school's alumni network and similar resources. It's really important to build a fan base among the people at the places you want to go. This process is extremely important, so definitely make sure to focus on networking in various ways. For clients of Alpha Academy, we really emphasize thinking about networking, specifically which company, which position, and at what level you should be building your network with. We give detailed advice on how to talk with those people as well. And when we observe, of course, the power of networking really comes into play. Ultimately, it comes down to who will vouch for you, who will choose to bring you on board. In the end, it really depends on the hiring side, on their decision, even if it's just one person. In the end, the key is to create an overwhelming fan of yourself. Whoever manages to do that wins. So, including those kinds of strategies, networking strategies as well, we cover all of that at Alpha Academy. To recap, first, you need to improve the quality of your content output. Then, you need to enhance the relatability of your story. And after that, you need to show your genuine commitment. Yes, people will want to hire you. You'll be able to build an overwhelming number of fans. So, it's really these three things. If you thoroughly focus on these three things without fail, for example, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Bank of America, and so on. Many of the people who get into Alpha are at these firms. Also, places like BlackRock, Millennium, Point72, and KKR, for example, Carlyle, Bain Capital, and so on. People are getting into those kinds of companies one after another. And of course, McKinsey and BCG as well. Well, as for consulting, these days it's a bit, oh, thank you. When it comes to consulting, a lot of people actually want to go into finance first. Also, there have been stories about layoffs at places like McKinsey. So it feels like finance is a bit more popular and is outperforming consulting in terms of demand. We support not only finance, but also consulting and even companies like GAFA. Also, as I mentioned earlier, for those who want to go for an MBA in the future, or for those who want to pursue financial engineering or graduate school, or those who want to get a master's degree. We also provide support for their applications. We provide our services with world-class quality. So this year, I believe it's your time to take on the challenge. I hope you'll work with Alba to secure a summer internship at a top financial firm and gain admission to a leading business school. Please feel free to consult with us.
Well then, we're looking forward to your inquiries. So at Alpha, TJ is now providing one-on-one guidance to everyone, from resume editing to, as mentioned earlier, building your career story, which is the most important part, helping you present yourself as the most attractive candidate. And that includes investment banking and so on. Recently, more people are also moving into private equity. Please feel free to consult with us about your career strategy, including where you can excel and make the most of your abilities. We also provide technical preparation. The skills and abilities required for investment banks, hedge funds, and private equity are each a bit different. While business schools do have career centers, it's difficult for them to offer the kind of in-depth technical preparation specifically tailored for investment banks. If you're looking for technical preparation or have an internship coming up, please feel free to consult with us. Yes, it's a world-class resume. I'm sure many of you have already submitted resumes to business schools and such, but you'll need to rewrite everything. At Alpha, our resumes, DJ has reviewed countless resumes at Goldman Sachs, and we can create an Alpha resume that will get you into Goldman Sachs, or any company really. A resume that won't get rejected anywhere. I hope you'll use this to secure your offers. For consultations, please visit the Alpha Academy website. Please start by consulting us through this free chat. We'll respond according to your individual situation. We offer support for resumes, interview preparation, and for those planning to attend business school or graduate school, we also provide assistance with your applications. We look forward to hearing from you. Well, then, I look forward to speaking with you all again. Goodbye.